Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk to you about my newest Age of Empires 2 scenario, which is Carthago Nova. So it's basically about the time between the First and the Second Punic War, and as I'm aware that not all of you might know about that, I thought about, well, just doing a quick overview video here. The first scenario starts just after the ending of the First Punic War between Rome and Carthage. Carthage, as a trade empire, had colonies all over the Mediterranean area, so in Sicily, in Sardinia, and many other islands as well. But Rome was also growing, and it was only a question of time until both of these Mediterranean powers would meet, and they met for the first time really in this First Punic War on a military level. And because Rome had vast superior resources, they could decide that war for them. So Carthage had to follow a peace treaty, which was pretty much dictated by the Romans, as they were the victors. So Carthage had to give up all its colonies in the Mediterranean islands, and also had to pay massive reparations, which was quite a problem, as without those colonies, the trade empire of Carthage pretty much broke down. Their network was no longer available, and they still had to pay all their mercenaries from the war which survived. So yeah, it was a really big problem, as they couldn't afford to both pay the mercenaries and the Romans their reparation payments. So this led to a crisis, as Carthage avoided not paying Rome, of course, because Rome could just annihilate Carthage at that point, as Carthage hadn't really had any military left, and so the mercenaries couldn't get their money. So there was a rebellion, and even multiple cities sided with the mercenaries fighting against Carthage. So this is pretty much where you start in playing the scenarios. You play as, first of all, the hero unit Hannibal, Hasdrubal, which is also related to Hannibal, who will appear in the later scenario. At that point he was still a child, so he doesn't appear in this scenario yet. And Hasdrubal Barcus is tasked to bring down the rebellion, and after some while he succeeded in doing so. So the existence of Carthage was secured for now, but the founding of a new city was really necessary. So a new colony in Spain, which was called Iberia at that time, because well, they heard of the rich silver mines on Spanish territory, and in order to being able to pay the reparations, but under the hood also thinking of a potential revenge on Rome, because having such a prosperous colony really enabled them to rise to power again and conquer all of Iberia, all of the Iberian peninsula. But the conflict with Rome wasn't really over yet. It was only slightly paused, as a city-state in the north of Spain, which was called Saguntum, had an alliance or some sort of agreement with Rome, and with Rome in the back they became really daring, started raiding cities and villages under Carthage's control, as they thought with Rome as their supporter, Carthage couldn't really dare to touch them. But the army of Carthage soon proved them wrong, and sacked Sagunt, but as the generals of Carthage knew, this aggression was not to be unanswered by Rome's armies, by Rome's legions, so they already prepared a further advance into Roman territory, because they knew if they would attack Rome in their homeland, so march with the armies towards the city Rome itself, they could not dare to move any legions to Africa to destroy Carthage. So they first crossed the Pyrenees, allied with a lot of tribes of Celts and Gauls there, later also with Northern Italic mercenaries and so on. And this is also where we have this famous crossing of the Alps by Hannibal, which is also the topic of a scenario in Age of Empires 1, which was pretty much my all-time favorite scenario in that game. So this will most likely be my next scenario as well, and I also will do a time-lapse for that one. So yeah, this is basically my next project for this, my next big projects for this channel, and I hope you could learn something today. And please also leave a comment if you get something to say. Whether you liked this format I'm doing right now here or not, whether you liked this scenario or not, maybe what I could improve on. Also the difficulty, if the difficulty scaling is good, if easy is not too easy or hard not too hard, if hard is still a challenge, if you're a more experienced player, and so on. So your feedback definitely will be helpful in that regard. Yeah, that's it for today. Thanks a lot as always for watching, and see you next time.